if there was a national company working in collaboration with a 501c3 public foundation, major lenders, title companies, realtors, and builders in order to provide home buyers with the non-repayable grants they need to cover a substantial portion of their down payment and closing costs? What if that company went a step further by making these grants available without income restrictions and helped home buyers increase their purchasing power by paying off old collections, reducing credit score requirements, and collaborating with banks in order to bring them to close with zero or little out of pocket? What if that company created a business opportunity as a peer-to-peer social media referring society that pays its associate members $3,200 in marketing fees down to 8 levels for every home buyer that entered into a purchase agreement, even if that purchase agreement never closed? That company has arrived. Let's say that your friend wanted to buy a $250,000 home, and the typical amount needed from her to purchase that home without assistance was $20,000. Thanks to you telling her about us and our down payment assistance, she would need less than $5,000 to close, and maybe even zero or little out of pocket to close. You heard me right, zero or little out of pocket. Additionally, she may decide to become an associate member and refer John, who then refers other home buyers. When that happens, everyone would earn substantial income for making home ownership happen. With us, associate members earn override commissions. Our company pays $3,200 per transaction, down through 8 levels of associates on every purchase contract that their buyers enter into, even if that transaction never closes. No waiting for the sale to close. You are paid within days of the signed purchase agreement. The best part of this is that our associate members don't need a mortgage or real estate license, and don't have the added responsibility to process transactions. There will be associate members who will build large teams and earn tens of thousands of dollars per month, even hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Will you be one of these associates? You can get started as either a home buyer or an associate member today, maybe even both. Get back to that person that sent you this video, and let's get you started. Contact this associate member today.
Welcome everybody to our call, and yes, I want to definitely comment on Eric Wohl's training, because I've taken some of his training classes and he's a master in the industry, and prospecting is the key. And when you join Fund My Home, remember the $49 that we have for enrollment, that $49 is your business. It will allow you to get traction very quickly. When I first was introduced to the company, I took a look at it and I thought it was kind of cartoonish. I'm looking for a more so-called sophisticated way of presenting my business model. But it was my naivety not knowing that today these type of doodles attract attention because they're fun, they have a lot of impact, and it's only 2 minutes long. And today, with the busy world that we have, people can't spend a lot of time, you can't attract a lot of attention. So I took the doodle and I initially played with it. I sent it out to a couple of people just to see if I'd get a reaction. And that's what actually brought me into the business. My phone started ringing. People wanted to know, what was this incredible program? Was this for real? So guys, the first step, when you get the doodle, you want to make a list, and Eric spoke about it on the training. And because we're offering such a unique opportunity in terms of home ownership as well as financial income, you want to get this out to everyone, and no judgment, because you don't know whose brother, whose sister, whose cousin who just got married, who's now received an inheritance, that's looking for a home. And this little doodle in 2 minutes is designed for what purpose? To create an interest, to allow you to have a conversation so you're not looking like or attempting to sell anything. So I started sending the doodle out, and all of a sudden I get a phone call. I saw that little cartoon thing that you sent me. What's it about? Well, now they're asking me questions. I'm not calling up saying, hey, I've got this great program and I can help you make money and I'm bumming around. I'm now answering their questions. And of course, we all know from our studies, we're a 501c3. We are a nonprofit organization with a mission statement to put 1 million families into homes within the next 30 years. We do it by offering a wonderful non-repayable grant and closing assistance program. I'd love to give you all the details. is this something that you are actually looking for? Do you know anyone that's interested? And of course, they'll say, well, yeah, I'm asking a question. So again, you don't have to be a salesperson. You can just give them the highlights. They may mention the fact, well, I've tried to get a home, but my FICO scores weren't quite up to par. You can let them know that we certainly can help them out in that area because we actually help individuals get homes with FICOs as low as 580. But the big thing is, I want to know more about the down payment assistance, because what's happening with most people, and you guys know it, if you're paying a rent today, it's so expensive. The rent is a lot more than what you would possibly pay with a mortgage. So a lot of folks are trying, they get closer and closer to saving the money, and then someone gets sick, they have a car problem, they have just, things that happen in life, and that little nest egg is diminished, and now they're back trying to save it again. So when they see what we have, they want information. They want to know more about it. So what I did was I made it an objective. I took my cell phone and I said, I'm not going to judge, and I'm going to send out doodles a day. That was my initial, in the beginning, I had a lot on my plate. So I said, I can squeeze out 5 minutes a day to do this doodle. And I started doing it day in and day out. So at the end of a week, I had already 25. The next week, I had another 25. I actually had 50 people that I had sent it to in a relatively short time. It wasn't a lot of stress in a 2 to 3 week period. Now, some of them called back and I explained it to them, and we're going to talk about in the next phase. I got them actually on the webinar, and they have now joined our wonderful opportunity, and they're part of the business. Others, I didn't hear back from. So when I sent out the doodle, I would always say, take a look at this, write down your questions, and give me a call back, and we'll talk about it. And of course, some did, but a lot didn't. So I called back again, and I keep a book Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I make sure each day to see how many names I put and did I send the doodle out. Because one thing you have to do is be accountable. Sometimes we think we've done a whole lot of work, but if we actually look at it, we realize that, oh, gee, I only sent out 2 doodles. I only introduced it to one person because things happen. But at least you know that the results you're getting are based on the time that you put towards that action, and you're not thinking that it doesn't work. Sometimes you do a lot of busy work, but when you synthesize it to see what you did towards actually introducing people to the business model, if you write it down, you realize that, well, gee, I really only put it out to 5 people, so I guess that's why I'm getting results. And then you don't feel that you're not successful. You just realize you have to add more. So as I mentioned, I put the list Monday through Friday. I put the name of the person, of course, the phone number, and then I wait 3 days to 5 days, and I call back and I say, hey, John, I sent you that little doodle. They said, what's a doodle? I said, well, that's what we call it, that little a wonderful program that helps people to get home ownership. I saw that. What was that about? And then I get an opportunity to chat with them. I invite them to our Monday evening call, or Tuesday, Wednesday. They get a chance to see all the facts, the details, and 3 out of 5 right away will join and come on board. But the doodle allows you not to have to explain a lot of the details. It says enough that you can simply answer their questions. So I'm recommending, and what I did was I got the cell phone. I went to everybody on that phone, and I didn't discriminate or try to judge if they could afford it, if they needed it. That wasn't an issue. It was just get the word out. And I learned something years ago from a millionaire actually in the networking business, and he talked about a place called Sinaloa, a little town in Mexico. And he said the one key to being successful, so you don't have to worry about selling, because they were selling a product, not a wonderful service like we have. But he said safety in numbers, and the law of average. And basically what he was saying is if you hit enough numbers, the average numbers will start to fall in your favor. And since I've been doing this, there's some individuals that I didn't think would, I didn't judge them, so I sent out the doodle, but had I thought about it, I would not have sent it to them. They have called me up with referrals. I couldn't get them on the training. They weren't interested in seeing the model, but they've called me back, 2 or 3 people, and said, hey, are you still doing that thing that helps people get into homes with a little down? They remembered that part, and I've said yes. And I've gotten 2 or 3 referrals in the short time I've been with the company. So you want to blast it out. You want to get it to as many people as possible. Any folks you've had that you've worked with past companies, you go through your list. If you happen to recently get married, if you have a marriage list, if you have friends from high school and college, folks on Facebook, and I'm going to do a real in-depth Facebook training down the road. But for Facebook, this is really great because you have friends that you have been speaking to, that you have a relationship with, what you do. And I have to tell you, and I know you guys have experienced, when you tell people what you do, people say, you do what? You actually help people get into homes with no money down, or just say no money down, but with partial assistance for down payment and closing, and it's non-repayable. Tell me more. And once they say, tell me more, we can sit back and relax and simply take them to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday overview, get their questions answered, and they either come in as an associate, and sometimes, of course, associates also are home buyers. So this doodle is truly your marketing piece, but you just can't send it out and not follow up. Follow up. Follow up is the key in this business and in any business, because when you follow up, you get to see you get a dialogue going. You can casually, once again, not sell, but have a conversation because they're asking you questions, and you guys who train know the answers because you've been on the calls, and now you have a great prospect. So follow up is key, and more importantly, this doodle will get everybody off to a really, really quick start. And for myself, my business has really grown, and this has been, for me, one of the best tools I've ever used in terms of getting business over and over again. And you can send it anywhere in the country, and you only pay one time the $49. That's what you pay when you enroll with Fund My Home. That $49 is actually for this doodle, and this is your marketing piece. And of course, you can add a lot of other additional services and other ways to expand, but this alone can build your business. So once again, I'm recommending, and Eric said 2 a day, so whatever's comfortable. But when you're on the job, when you're walking, when you're talking to people, there's so many people that would love to know what we do because they're in a situation where they are indeed trying to get a home. They know somebody that can get a home. They're looking to buy a second home. It's just a multitude of different ways that our service can make a difference in their lives. So guys, we just want to get that out there. And as I said, one of the first tools that the company has that I'm really impressed with is this doodle, because it actually works. It allows you to have that conversation, and it's going to be a great tool to build your business.